Hello, millionaires. Welcome to the Millionaire Money Podcast, episode 27. I am excited about this conversation. So we just got back from Atlanta. We just had Bulletproof Millions Retreat. It was our most amazing event we've ever done. And I literally have decided to use this episode to bring y'all in on the behind the scenes. I'm going to be sharing how it got put together, why it got put together, and some of my top learnings from running an event that just totally changed the game, opened up a whole new business model for our company, and something that I think may serve you as well. Enjoy. Hello, millionaires. Welcome to the Millionaire Money Podcast. Today, I am excited to be having a conversation with you all. As you guys know, I have not released an episode in a little bit this year. And usually I want all my notes to be ready. I want the makeup all proper. I know those of you who listen on audio, you're like, makeup, what makeup? We're just here for the goods. But yes, normally it's like, gotta get the makeup, gotta get the hair, gotta get the this, gotta get the that. I mean, I'm loving my hair. If any of you guys watch or listen to our podcast on audio, y'all need to check out my new hair. It's good, guys. It's good. And I'm loving it. Okay. So check it on YouTube for this episode. Okay. But normally I want to get all this stuff together, and usually I will do like a Facebook Live or something if I want to just casually share some learnings. But this was something that was important enough for me to say, listen, I need to put this on the podcast. And so even if I don't have the time today to do all the makeup stuff and do all that other stuff, I'm going to get on here with y'all and I'm going to have this conversation with you because I think it's going to add a lot of value to you. So just as normal, if what you hear from in this episode, it adds value to you, then I want to encourage you to tell your people about it, share the episode. But let's dive in. So we just recently did something in our company that we have not done ever before. So what do I mean? I share a lot of stories about the wins that some of our clients have. And I have different kind of programs that serve different levels of business. And so I have a program called Millionaire Mastermind. And in our Millionaire Mastermind, I specifically help business owners from many different sectors scale their businesses to $1 million in revenue, $1 million in cash collected, $1 million in profit. And in that room is where I usually will also serve people who are doing multiple millions of dollars and kind of want that private coaching kind of element. It connects with our Millionaire Mastermind. And then outside of that room, of course, we serve every type of business owner at every level. We serve career professionals. But for our Millionaire Mastermind, we normally have retreats that we do in the middle of the year to serve them and to serve their businesses. And at these retreats, we pour out. We do not hold back. We go from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Sometimes these guys will not want to leave until midnight. We go back to back 3-4 days and we coach and we train and we discuss and we converse and we pull their businesses apart, put them back together so that when they come out of these retreats, their business multiplies right out the gate. So we've been doing those Millionaire Mastermind retreats for maybe 4 years now or 3 years. I don't know how long, but I've been doing retreats before that. You guys know the very last episode I talked about the solitude retreat. I believe in taking time out of your day-to-day to kind of hit that reset button and hit that pattern interrupt in the way things are flowing so that you're able to really maximize the life you're living, the business you're running, the things that God has put into your hands to do. So I do personal solitude retreats. I will do a marriage retreat with just me and my husband and Jesus. And so we also do these client retreats. So normally these retreats are completely reserved for people in our highest paying mastermind, which is Millionaire Mastermind. And this year was super different. So we had done a retreat for Millionaire Mastermind in March. We did another one in July. They actually came to my house. They were able to come right into my home and we hosted the whole retreat out of here. They were able to walk the paths in our backyard and enjoy the scenery and just all the beautiful things. Then we were supposed to have another one in October. And I thought it was going to be like same old, same old. But I could feel God saying, and the reason I'm sharing this episode of this podcast with you guys is because I want you guys to see God's leadership in our business. Oh my gosh, guys, I forgot to tell y'all, we were just announced in this past month that we are verified as the 74th fastest growing company in the nation of Canada. We are the 74th fastest growing company in our country. And like, that is huge and magnanimous when you think about the fact that 5 years ago, it's going on 6 years now. 6 years ago, we did not have a place to lay our heads. Like, we didn't have our own home. And we were squatting with family. To go within 6 years from that place to being the 74th verified, we were listed in Globe and Mail's fastest growing companies in Canada ranking as the 74th fastest growing company in the nation. I am speechless, but it's the leadership of God. It's the leadership of Jesus Christ over myself and over our business. And that's part of what I'm coming to share with y'all. I'm also wanting to share on this episode kind of the things that really stood out to me out of running our first event in the way that we did it. And I'll explain what the differences are, because I want those of you who may be planning on doing events to have these little tips so that you know what you're walking into, okay? It's not going to be a full breadth explanation, just because obviously I don't have time to do a full breadth explanation in a podcast episode. I knew I'm going to pour into our Millionaire Mastermind in sharing about this stuff, and I wanted to come and bring a portion of that share with y'all. Okay, so I feel God say, listen, you are going to open up the Millions Retreat, is what we call it, Millions Retreat. You're going to open up Millions Retreats for the community to come in to attend this one. And that was a big deal already because, like I said, Millions Retreat, we don't hold back. We are not just training. We are getting into their businesses. We are going on excursions. So we've done mud. What do they call that thing? Mud, the thing where you're on the thing, the ATV and the mud comes all around you. We've done that. We've gone indoor skydiving. We've gone, I can't think of all the things, but we always have like this big excursion, treetop trekking. But when you hear treetop trekking, you think it's small, you think you're just walking across a line on top of the trees. This thing was serious. We were climbing as if we were trying to get into the army. Anyway, we've done a ton of stuff with them. And I'm like, okay, Abba, it's usually this like intimate 15-person conversation for 3 days. What's it going to look like if we open it up to the public? I knew he was saying to do that, so we did. And then not only that, so normally this thing is like $10,000. So when I put it out, I was like, you know what? We're going to give a discount. We're going to put it out there for $3,000. So we have a conversation with our graduates from our program. We've had over 1,000 people graduate from Money Mindset Shift. And I tell them, hey guys, for the first time ever, we're actually giving you an invitation to join us at Millions Retreat. It's not going to be $10,000. It's going to be $3,000. And people were literally like so grateful, in tears, like just for the opportunity to be able to attend and be invited in. That was in July of this year. Normally when I do, because we have monthly meetings where I train and I coach our alumni, it's just a part of what we do. Anyone that works with us, you just stay in the community. You don't go nowhere. We always tell them, you can't get rid of us. So there's people who have worked with us like 5 years ago that we're still serving every single month for free. And so we normally have these conversations. And usually when I have the conversation with them, I post the recording right after so they can go back, because I did a training before I announced this invitation. So normally I post the training and they can watch the training and keep learning from it for however long they choose. And July, I train them and then I share this announcement and I don't feel a release to post the recording. So the month of August, people are messaging me going, Toyin, I missed the meeting and I'm trying to watch the recording. I want to learn what you shared about. And I have no answer for them. I don't know why I am not posting the recording. It wasn't a procrastination deal. It's easy to do. We just copy and paste the Zoom link into a PDF and we put it there. But for some reason, I kept telling my team, don't put it up. Don't put it up. I don't know what it is. Just wait. And so I'm praying and I'm going, God, what are you trying to say here? And in the month of August, now I'm supposed to meet them again. And people are literally like, Toyin, you didn't post July's recording. So now I sit with God and I'm like, okay, Jesus, you got to let me know what's up. What are you trying to say that maybe I'm not hearing? Maybe it took me this long to hear. And I felt him say, what you're going to do, you are going to sponsor and sow into this event. Now, we always pay for the event. We're always putting our money into the event. But it was different. Like this time he was like, it was pretty much like not having a ticket fee, because he said to move the ticket price down from $3,000, so $2,997 to $347. $347. Y'all, I ain't got nothing for $347. Well, maybe I have like a couple of like one-off trainings that are $347 or $300. But like, this is not a one-off online training. This is a 3-day immersive experience that we put a lot of money into with more people than ever before. And I'm like, Jesus, because I'm a money mindset coach. I have no problems with charging a lot or charging a little, especially when I know the value of what we create helps people become multimillionaires. And I'm like, this is just different. This is weird. Like, you know how much this thing costs. And I just felt him say, this is you pouring back into your community, just as it is. Like, I'm always generous. I'm always looking for opportunities to be generous with our community. I'm always pouring back. But he was like, you're going to do it in this tangible way where it costs you something. And I was like, okay, cool. So now the month of August, I show back up in that conversation with our clients. And I tell them, guess what? Y'all remember last month we had this whole conversation. I had told you, you guys were getting an invitation to join our Millionaire Mastermind at this retreat. Well, guess what? I've prayed about it and I feel God saying that we are going to eat the cost of it and you guys can attend at $347. Y'all should have seen the room. Y'all should have seen the room. People were like, oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, it was such a blessing to so many of our people. And then I tell them, but guess what else? Not only do you guys get this invitation, but you can actually bring your friends and family to attend as well. Y'all have to keep in mind, even Millionaire Mastermind, before they can bring their friends and family to a ministry, first of all, they couldn't just bring anyone. It had to be like a spouse, a partner, or it had to be like a business partner. Even if they brought someone, it was like thousands of dollars to bring someone with them. So now here we are going, you can bring friends, you can bring family. It's $347. We are sponsoring this thing. Go get your people, let them get their lives, and let's just build. So we're coming into the event and there's a couple of lessons that I want to share with y'all. One of them is to follow God's leadership, because after I made the decision, I found out two different people, not the same person. They got their tickets and they sent me messages saying, thank you so much, Toyin, for dropping the price and allowing us to be able to come at $347. And one of them sent me a dream that God gave her in April. And she had written it down. She shows me the screenshot. April this year, where I had invited her to come to a training. And she was like, Toyin, I may not be able to attend because of the pricing. And I was like, don't worry, girl. This one's just $400. Come on. And in the dream, she was like, what? Okay, thank you. And she pays the $400 and she comes. And so she had registered. And when we were at the retreat, she shows me this dream. And she's like, Toyin, I had the dream in April. But of course, I'm not the one that's going to bring this dream to you and be like, girl, you should change your price to $400 for one of your trainings. So she was just like, I just want to confirm to you that you heard from God on this decision. Then I had somebody else do the same thing where they sent me a message where it was the same thing. And it was a dream where I had told them, don't worry, I'm doing it. I don't remember what the number was, but it was a couple $100. And so I already know God's got our backs. And coming into the event ends up costing us more than double what I budgeted for. Because I say that because I think some people will see, like, if y'all ain't seen the reels, if you haven't seen the posts, if you haven't seen the videos, the photos, like this event was, ah, 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 our best one ever. Like, if you ain't seen them, go find me on Instagram and watch. Just be watching. It was amazing. And I know that a lot of people will like watch those videos and stuff, and you just think that it just happened. It just got put together. You know, Leonard Ravenhill, I was reading a book with Leonard Ravenhill wrote, and he said, many people want my mantle, but they don't want my sackcloth and ashes. I'm going to say that again. Many people want my mantle, but they don't want my sackcloth and ashes. For those of you who don't understand what that means, what he was saying is a lot of people want to be with me in the mountain, but they don't want to do the growth camp and the climbing process with me. So I'm just letting y'all into some of that climbing process, right? It was the most difficult events we have ever put together. It was difficult. And I'm so grateful because like vendors were around me. There were so many things that were changing. The budget ended up being more than double what I expected. One of our vendors is a member of Millionaire Mastermind, right? So I'm talking to the clients and we're just debriefing after the event. And he was there with the team when we arrived in Atlanta, because the thing happened in Atlanta, and I'm hearing all the different news of things changing. And like, we literally had merchandise that we were shipping over to the event for client swag, for gifts, for all this stuff, even our banners to open up there. Thankfully, we had ordered other banners in Atlanta, but we had a bunch of stuff that just got stopped at the border and never made it to the event. So the night before the event is to start, I'm hearing FedEx isn't releasing the stuff at the border. This is happening over here. We need new swag. We need new this. We need new that. Okay, great. And one thing he said that I'm so grateful for was he was like, Toyin was just so calm about it all. It was just like, okay, great. Here's what we're going to do. Okay, great. Here's what we're going to do. And it's very, 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 very true because I practice this stuff of money mindset shift. Like your mindset determines how you are able to scale. And if the challenge is too big for you, then the blessing is too big for you. If you're asking God for another level, that other level will always come with its growth challenges. And when we've built the muscle internally to be able to handle that stuff, that's when we're able to actually live out and run the businesses that we're so much praying to God for. And I find that a lot of people are always praying to God for big business and God, scale my business, grow my business. But what they are not prepared to do is to do the mental work to be kind and loving and not freak out in the middle of like hot moments of pressure, like what happened right before the event started. Whereas I know one thing that I was doing very consciously as I was hearing things was like just taking deep breaths. This is the stuff I train like for our clients, but taking very deep breaths. I was literally mindful to smile. Because when I smile, this isn't just for me, you as a human being, this is the case for you as well. But when we smile, we're actually giving our bodies a trigger. We're showing our bodies that things are safe, things are good. And in that state, your brain can actually stay creative. Whereas if I had gone into like, oh my gosh, things aren't happening. Oh my gosh, what's going on? That would have actually caused my brain to shut down and be less effective. So I'm going through this process and we pour out. Y'all, we poured out. You know, I was getting my trainings ready. And, you know, I've been to so many events. And I know that in a lot of events, it's like give the surface of the material so that you're not going all the way in. You're not going too deep so that you're not giving your gold or you're not giving the juiciest part. So the people who are just attending the event. And I just felt God say, just talk, just share. Like when I say we poured out, I shared gold. My clients afterward were like, what? Toyin, we know where that came from. Like they knew this is stuff you pay thousands and thousands of dollars to hear. And I just laid it out on a platter. The event overall was a massive success. We had 3 times what we invested into it come back to us as revenue in those 2.5 days. But more than that, like the way lives were changed, I have no words for it. Like one client said, and she has been in our community for some years, so it wasn't like she's like actively in the Millionaire Mastermind or something. But she said, Toyin, this was one of the best moments of my life. Like it was so deeply touching for them. I'd have no words for it. You know, another person who had never been to any of our stuff, she said to me, like, I found God in this retreat. I found God in this place. Like that means more than money. More than money, guys. So the event goes down like this, and I want to share a couple of things that I noticed. Number one, be willing to try something that may be unfamiliar to you. I hear a lot of people saying like, I think this other way of doing my business would work. I think I should do this. I think I should do that. But you don't do it. You just talk. It's all talk. And for me, I know I have been thinking about opening it up, doing an event like this, but like there was a lot of fear of what if I invest like almost $100,000 and it doesn't come back to us? What if it just is a good party, good time, and it doesn't have the impact that I wanted to have? A big fear. My biggest fear was that the clients, because we normally do it with 15 people. I was like, what if we have like almost 100 people in the room and it loses its connectedness and that feeling that it always had, which did not happen, by the way. It was even more because everyone showed up ready to play full out. It was crazy, y'all. Crazy. Anyway, but that was a concern that I had. So I have all these concerns and it could have influenced me not doing it this way. In fact, when the budget was multiplying and growing weeks before we were to meet, like just 2 weeks before we were to get there, I had the thought, should I just cancel this thing? Because where else is this budget going? But it was, no, we've committed to it. First of all, people have already bought their tickets. They've bought their plane tickets. They're coming, we're coming, and we're running full out. And I think that a lot of business owners, it's easy to talk, but the follow through is not present. And I want to say, if you are wanting to have your business step into the next level, you need to be able to follow through on the things you're talking about. However, I will say this as well with a caveat. My caveat is there was something else this year that I thought I want to try this as a different business model for my company. And I tried it and we worked on it for about 3 months. And it did cost us a lot of money, cost us tens of thousands of dollars. It was not fruitful to us. And I knew when to say, okay, this is not currently fruitful. We may come back to it later on, but I'm going to cut the experiment at this point. And I think business owners need to know when to cut the experiment and stop just throwing your money into something that isn't working, as well as when to actually put your money where your mouth is and start to follow through with the things that you've been talking about. So that's number one. Number two is faith. Like, I mean, this goes without saying, but I just want to anchor it in for those of you who may have missed it. Having faith in yourself. You know, not this year, but like a couple of years ago, we had invested about $100,000 into a company, another business. And that money never came back to us. It was a whole conversation. You know, me and my husband made it together. We really thought about it, prayed about it. And it was a decision where we said, listen, this is not the stock market. If this one business doesn't come through, that's our money that's gone. That money has not come back to us. And that's real. And what got me this year or during this event was I literally said to myself, listen, if I was willing to invest that money into somebody else's business that I had no control over their decisions, because y'all, I'm a financial coach, I'm a money coach, I'm a business coach. I was like, listen, let me share a couple of things that you should do with the money so that you are good. Whether it was heard, it wasn't heard, that's a different story. But I know myself, and I know that if I put $100,000 into me, it has to bear fruits. It has to have multiplication. It must have multiplication. And so for me, I was like, I'm willing to take this money and sow it into our community, sow it into service, sow it into what we do, because I know it's going to produce. But it took faith. It did take faith. Another thing that grabbed me at this event was do good work, guys. If you are a business owner, do good work. When you do good work, your clients sell your services without you asking. Like, there was one person who joined Millionaire Mastermind at the event, and another member asked him, why did you step in? And he said, like, he came in fully skeptic, completely skeptic. He's an accountant. He's like, I need to know the numbers. I need to know the ROI. I need to know that this is going to work out. And he said he spent those 2 days talking to our clients, one after the other, asking questions. He even asked one of our clients to show him her screenshots. They were already friends, so it wasn't like a weird question. They were good friends. But he was like, yo, if this is real, show me the screenshot of your bank account. And she was like, bro, here it is. When you do good work, you don't have to talk too much. That's why this year, I do the podcast. I apologize to you guys because I'll do it sometimes. I don't do it sometimes. But it's because I'm doing the work of serving my clients, right? And in that room, first of all, it was so good to see the faces of so many of the people that we work with. But so many of them, there was one point where they started putting up their hand and just like one after the other, like, this is what I experienced. This is what I experienced. To the point where I was the one that had to shut it down because I was like, guys, we got to go get lunch or dinner. I don't remember what meal. But I was like, we got to go eat, y'all. Because if we stay here, my clients are just going to keep sharing their wins and their testimonials one by one. We won't go anywhere tonight. So what is my point? If you are a business owner, prioritize the work of serving your clients. Honestly, this year has been a difficult year for a lot of businesses. So for me, my priority was not, hey, let me go jump on the podcast. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. It was, let me put my head down with these business owners that have entrusted me to serve their businesses and let me help them. That's why we've had business owners in our community have their best year ever, best month ever, best week ever, all the best evers that you can imagine. They've been having it in the middle of what a lot of people are saying is whether it's a recession, inflation, all the things that are happening. So do good work. All right. Another thing, and this is the last one that I will share, and then I'll share something really cool with y'all, is my daughter. Oh, I love this girl. I love my daughter. I love all three of my children. She is just the oldest, so she's able to understand a little bit better. She's 7. My 3 children were there. My daughter comes to all of our events. And for this event, she was like all the events, even the normal Millions retreats, it's Millionaire Mastermind, and my daughter's always in the room. So she shows up, she has her notebook, she has her pen, she's taking notes, she's learning, she's engaging, she's putting up her hand, she's asking questions, she's participating. And there was one moment though that stood out to me more than any. And I posted about like just what I learned from her in this experience and why I have my family come with me, like not my children come with me. I need my husband there. I told him, I'm like, babe, I don't know what you got on your schedule, but I need you in the room, right? But for my children, why do I have my children come and engage as much as possible? That's on Instagram. I did a post about it. But one thing really got me. So for our excursion this time, we went to an escape room. And in the escape room, we're trying to escape. Y'all know the escape room is the normal stuff. But it was like a Old West theme and whatever. And my daughter is 7 years old. She's in the room with 10 other CEOs, myself included. And of course, there's a lot of large personalities there. And I loved it because she was so not intimidated by that. Like she was just like showing up, playing full out with the rest of us, looking for clues, giving suggestions to the point where at one point it had sent us to this mirror on the wall to get a clue. And we all run over because of course, when you get a new clue, we all run. We ran to the mirror and we're looking at the mirror and we're like, I don't see nothing. All I see is a mirror. And my daughter, she's lower than all of us, of course. And she like squeezes her way to the front because she's running to the mirror too. She looks up and she's like 55, then 75, then 55, then 65. And we look at her and we look at the mirror and we're like, where do you see that? Because this is just a mirror. And she's like, it's so clear. 55, then 75, then 55, then 65. And we're like, what are you talking about? And she goes, you gotta come down to see it. And we're like, no. So we all squat, look up, and it's clear as day. 55, then 75, then 55, then 65. The guy in the room told us like we could also have blown, like if you went over the mirror, it would have shown up. But what was amazing was that we got to give room for the smallest among us to feel confident sharing her opinion, so that when it was time for us to find that clue, and she helped us with a bunch of other clues, but it just struck me that none of us could have seen it because we were too tall. And our willingness as a group and as a team to give her room ended up serving all of us and saving us so much time. So of course we won to come out of the room, but like that was one of the top learnings that I had was as leaders, and I'm speaking to y'all, okay? As leaders in business, in your careers, maybe you're in management, it's so easy for us to overlook the people that look like they don't have the qualifications or they're not at the level that you're playing at. But to remember that God has placed wisdom in every single person. And if you're humble enough to go low, that's literally what got me. It was go low and you will see from a different perspective. And I think that sometimes when we are building, when we're growing, we can lose that perspective, and you can just see that happening in so many areas. But it's so necessary for us as business owners to stay humble, to stay in a learning mentality, to stay in a place where we're always willing to stretch, where we're willing to give back, where we're willing to be generous. And so I just wanted to come on here, share some of those like overall learnings from it. And I have an announcement. So I really prayed and I was like, okay, God, that was incredible. That was incredible. That was beyond what I thought I was walking into. Like, we've done Millions retreats for years and it's always been amazing, but that was beyond what I could have imagined. But it took a lot. It took a lot from me, from the team. I felt it. And so the whole time I'm like, I do not know if we're going to do something like this ever again. Like, I don't know. We gonna have to pray about this because my business makes money without this, without this stress, without this wahala. I run ads, people. I run ads, my ads. I have a sales team. They talk to people and I just focus on serving my clients, building their businesses. It's very simple. But I can't ignore the impact that this had, not just on myself, but on our clients and on people who were walking into that room for the first time ever. So guess what we're doing? We're doing it again. We are doing it again. We are going to be opening up Millions Retreat for any of you guys who are listening. And if you register between now and November 12th, you will be able to get into Millions Retreat. The general admission tickets are $147. We've made it even less. We've made it even more accessible because it was just incredible. And I want as many people as possible to be able to show up and receive on that day. So like I said, it's going to be next year, October. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to have the tickets and the accommodation and all the things. Y'all, the miracles we saw, even for people as they were coming, I don't have time to get into it, but you don't need to have everything figured out. All you need to know is it is $147 to be in the room the next time. Don't miss it. Don't be late. November 12th is the deadline, and then the price will go back up. And the closer we get to it, the price will also go back up, which is what happened the last time. It started at 347. And then I think by the time the event was happening, it went back to the 2997. So we give that window for people to be able to register at the earlier price. So it's 147. Head over there. If you want to do VIP, it's 697, which is ridiculous for the VIP experience. But I love you guys, and I'm hoping to be back to do a lot more podcast episodes, just as I am, like not stressing it, not overdoing it. Whether I have makeup, you know me, if I do makeup, it's good. If I don't do makeup, it's good. We're going to be showing up as we are, having a lot of fun, having some more conversation just about things that I know will serve you as you are scaling your business to millions of dollars and multiplying by millions of dollars. So if you are down to completely unplug, reset, recharge your life, and you know that that is a room that you want to be in, like I can't put in words. There's going to be tons of videos and stuff that will explain. But even if you want some clues, go to my Instagram. You'll see a bunch of videos and reels. And even on the registration page, you'll be able to see some of those. But you want to go to moneymindsetShift.ca/millions retreat. moneymindsetShift.ca/millions retreat. Now, just so y'all know, the event will be happening in Atlanta again. We're going to be going back to Atlanta. It's going to be from October 17th to 19th, 2024. October 17th to 19th, 2024. Like I said, the announcement special is 147. The ticket amount is only going to be going up from here. It's going to be that amount until November 12th. And so I look forward to seeing y'all come through. Let's have a look. Let's celebrate together and let's build together. Peace out. Hey millionaires, thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you want to subscribe, there's a little picture of me right here. Click on that. And if you want to have a free financial breakthrough session with my team, then you can go on ahead and click on the button right here or visit moneymindsetShift.ca/call. I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye-bye.